Let me answer in two steps. First, general anti-competitive effects. Second, maybe anti-competitive effects through the innovation channel. Right? In terms of anti-competitive effects, what we want to do is prevent the big tech companies, like any other companies, from acquiring firms that are potential competitors. So there's a question of assessing at the time of acquisition whether the firm being acquired is a potential entrant in the market, whereas a large company is dominant or at least a significant market power. Now, what are the two problems there? The first one is that successful startups in high-tech tend to grow a lot and to be identified as promising before they have themselves a lot of business. What's the problem there is that we have thresholds to determine the acquisition we look at. And those thresholds are based on turnover. So even if you're a very promising company, if you haven't sold much yet, you're not going to qualify for those thresholds, and therefore we do not have jurisdiction to look at this acquisition. So that's one potential weakness of the problem, right? Another is that things change a lot in high-tech. You don't know whether a product is for sure a substitute for a product of the firm acquiring it, or whether it is a complement. Let's go back more than 20 years to the initial Google Netscape case. The whole idea there was whether Netscape was a complement to Google's operating system, or whether eventually it could be an alternative base, an alternative operating system that would compete with Microsoft. The first case, there's no problem in allowing an acquisition. In the second stage, there's a problem. But if at the time of the acquisition you have no idea whether it's going to be scenario 1 or scenario 2, then it's not quite obvious what you're going to do. So the merger sometimes occurs at the point where we don't quite have the right information in order to make the right decision. There is one added complication. As an economist, I would say it's no problem. I can assign probability to two scenarios, probabilities to the substitute, probabilities to the complements, and then say, well, complements, if we don't let you merge, they're still not terrible, so that's a loss of efficiency. Substitute, if we let you merge, the consequences are terrible. So even if it's not extremely likely, if the consequences are very bad, I would ban it. That's a rational economic approach. Well, the courts don't let us do that. The courts don't let us do the scenario approach. They want us to do what the most likely counterfactual is. So at that level, there are difficulties. Now, in terms of innovation, there's a greater difficulties, is that while the Commission has been looking more and more at the effect of mergers on innovation, this is an aspect which is not quite well as developed as the effect on price, qualities, and so on. So there's a general weakness there, which is of course emphasized in a world where you have this kind of very fast growth of innovative firms.